Yeah. So how did you get into the uke?
Well, it's kind of like the Descendents kind of favorite instrument, especially on tour. Back in the '80s when we'd go out in the tiny little vans, you don't bring along if you just want to play for fun in the van. You can't pull out a big guitar. You got to pull out a teeny little thing. So we had the uke that we brought with us, the small uke that we brought with us, and got documented in song here in my van. Here in my van, I just play my small uke. So it's historically a very old concept for us to have that uke with us.
Is that an electric ukulele behind you?
Yeah. This is my electric uke.
Nice. What do you got? A humbucker in that thing?
I have no idea. Yeah, I guess they're humbuckers. I don't know. Uke humbuckers, but yeah. And I got a 6-string uke called a guitar lele. And once I got that, it refocused my interest on uke music, because I thought, well, I don't want to sound like Tiny Tim. I want to sound like I'm really rocking. And with the 6-string uke, you can get a little more muscle into it. You can get a little more on the bone. So a lot of the RebUke record was actually played or recorded with the guitar lele, and then I would supplement that with a variety of other ukes.
Nice. So like subject matter on this record, Descendents are kind of known for a lot of the you got your love songs and songs about coffee, of course, yeah, food, but politics, not that you guys haven't gone there, but this is probably the most overtly political. Like how did you fall into that?
Well, I think we just end up writing about what's really, sticking in our craw, so to speak.
Sure.
And that, in the past would have been a girl, or would have been like, or if we're just excited about something. And so whatever can provide us with the most intense feelings ends up being a song, basically. Sometimes that's Wiener Schnitzel, but sometimes it's girl. So that's my long-winded way of saying right now the only thing that I can really get, the thing that's really sticking in my craw is what's going on in the country today. For the past 4 years, it's been kind of watching a train wreck. And, a train wreck's entertaining, and train wreck can be like funny at times, but a train wreck's still a train wreck. It's still like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on?
Right. And it's so relentless too.
Yeah.
There's always something that just like, oh wow. Okay. The constantly like shocked, but not surprised thing, Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like part of me also feels like, if I just react on a daily basis to what's going on, I think after a while those reactions are muted more and more. You just reactions become just so much like, oh yeah.
That seems to be kind of part of the plan for him.
Yeah,
for Trump.
Yeah, it's kind of like
he knows that.
Yeah, nothing's shocking anymore, whatever. But when I wrote these songs, I thought, well, if nothing else, I'm documenting my feelings at that time of like, that this stuff was just so outrageous. And it could be that if it continues more and more, I wouldn't have those reactions anymore, because I would just be, numb to the whole thing. So why not, record them, or why not, document these feelings I have. And after a while, where I'm not going to be wanting to do that, because it will just get old hat. I've spent the last 4 years unable to write anything but political music, because it's so all encompassing. It's so to me, so like life-threatening, world-threatening, what's going on. It just becomes something that's taken over my life.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you see this election then? So I kind of view it as, it's a choice, right? The election is a choice between two, they're almost kind of polar opposite. At least, and the campaigns certainly are, but even the people are so opposite. How do you view this election? Like, what's the choice here for you in your eyes?
I think initially I thought it's a choice between someone who's incompetent versus someone who is competent. Right. And that is still a choice, or that's one of the choices, competence versus incompetence. But the more I the more you observe what's going on, the more it becomes clear that it's a kind of a choice between democracy and an autocracy. I think some of the things that that our dear leader has put forth as things that he wants to, do, clearly are just not are anti-democratic. I mean, he's talked about wanting to stay in office for their 12, 16 years or whatever. He wants to jail his opponent.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? So I mean, that's you can say, oh, he's just joking. No, he's not joking. He wants to jail his opponent because that way he doesn't have to run against him, basically. So I feel, and you can go down the list. There's all kinds. And so that's why I feel like it really is. I feel like democracy is on the ballot, and I hope people, maybe I'm being hyperbolic, but I can't believe, I don't believe that it's all just kind of like completely hunky dory what he's trying to pull off.
Right.
I think a lot of the shit he's trying to pull off is exactly for that. Like, he wants to be a dictator. He wants to be a king. He wants to be an autocrat, and he's just doing everything possible that he can to make it be so. And that's, again, you can say I've got the tin hat on, I'm shaking my fist or whatever, but I know there's a lot of people who feel the same way.
For sure, man. So the social media thing, I know that you recently got off of Facebook, and I don't know if any other social media, if you're still on that or what.
I'm on Snapchat just so I can keep tabs on, like I can get in touch with my kids.
Oh, okay.
What can I be on where I can just check in with them?
Yeah.
Just, but not like engage necessarily. I don't engage with Snapchat. I just use it as a messaging service.
Right. Well, that's kind of what, the social media started out as and what it's kind of good at.
It's clearly not good for conveying information. It's really good for conveying misinformation. And I think that, I hope that in the aftermath of this, that I'm not saying that we have to do any kind of censorship or anything like that, but I just hope that there's a greater understanding that you don't get information from social media. You get opinions and you get propaganda, but you don't get information.
Yeah. I'm wondering what social media is going to look like. Let's say, Trump or no Trump, what are people finally going to go, okay, yeah, like you're saying, okay, this is not how I should be gathering my news, it shouldn't be in the same basket as how I'm being entertained. I feel like you should.
I mean, I don't have a huge, like an optimistic viewpoint on that. I just, it is what it is. I hope that people can choose ways, bucket things into ways they get informed and ways they entertain, like you said, or ways ways they connect with people and ways they become entertained. And then separately from that, here's how I'm going to get informed on these legit sites, basically.
Right. What are we missing by, the way that we're taking this stuff in, you're releasing a record right now in the midst of this, and, it's going to reach a lot of people, and then, but does it just fly by people? It's kind of a daunting thing to try to release, especially music, right now.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I wrote these songs and they were performed well. They were something where we made good performances on them, and they're going to be obsolete in 2 weeks. So that was just the main impetus to put them out. I think I put in the same bucket as anything we've ever done. We have things to say, and either those things are political or not political, but we're going to say them. And we're grateful and lucky enough to have an avenue to put them out there.
Right.
So, we will. I don't have any lofty goals with it. It was really just, this is where my head's at, and this is where my head's been at for a few years now. Mm-hmm. And so that's what the songs are. And I'm hoping in a short while, to not have to write these types of songs anymore. And like going back to your original comment, and not having to kind of obsess over what's happening in the news. I'm hoping, by next year, especially, to just be like, okay, I can check my news feed once today.
Right.
Just one. And then I'm done. 2020, the last 4 years, we the people made a mistake. Hindsight 2020, why can't you admit? Hindsight 2020, he's full of shit. But we the people made a mistake. Do you deny? You gotta deny. You're gonna deny. You're in denial. You bought it every time, yeah. Hashtag MAGA MAGA. What a fucking joke. Hashtag MAGA for real. With your 2020 vote. For we the people, it's not too late. Bernie got burned, so it's all up to Joe. Can he kick Cheetos' ass? Nobody knows. A lot of people say, I don't care who it is. A fucking bum on the corner would be better than our fake prez. We, the people, made a mistake. Do you deny? You're gonna deny. You gotta deny. You're in denial. You bought it every time.